Today on the RAMcast, we are thrilled to welcome an incredible guest who brings a wealth of knowledge, experience, and a touch of fun to everything she does. Please give a warm welcome to Springford Area High School Principal, Dr. Kelly Edwards. Kelly has an impressive academic journey, a bachelor's in Spanish from Penn State University with a teaching certificate from Kutztown, her first master's in Hispanic Studies from Villanova, a second master's in educational leadership from Wilkes, and a doctorate in educational leadership from Drexel. Clearly, she knows her way both around the classroom and the world of educational leadership. But she's not just about academics. She's also a huge advocate for celebrating the talents of her students, whether in the classroom, on the stage, or on the athletic field. And she brings that same passion to her personal life. She's an avid sourdough baker, first time I've ever said that, a triathlon enthusiast who has completed 2 races with her families, a former chicken wrangler with 20 chickens at one time, a devoted dog parent. Her pups even have jobs on a golf course, and one of them has starred in a play. And she has a quirky aversion to odd numbers, which is muy interesante. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I did squeeze that Spanish in there. Hope you noticed it.
Muy bueno.
Gracias. I even phonetically wrote out interesante. Just to be sure I got it right. Welcome to the podcast. This is your first time on.
Thanks. It's exciting to be invited.
Yeah, we're trying to expand our offerings this year. In the past, we've talked more about the programs we offered. This year, we're talking more to the people who are here making the programs work and successful. And being new to the big building, we thought this would be a great time to have you on. Should we jump right in?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, just like a triathlon.
Oh, fun.
I do have a
Jumping right
question
in.
about the golf course and your pups, but we can ask that later.
You can start with that.
So what do your pups do on the golf course?
So my husband is a golf course superintendent, and we have 2 dogs. One, our first dog, Sandy, is a border collie. She predominantly likes to chase geese on the golf course, so she's fantastic at that. Barkley is our puppy. He is a 5-month-old Newfoundland. He really is just in it for the snacks and the pets.
It's a big dog. He'll get big.
He will continue to get big.
Does he have the giant paws?
He has massive paws. He was 9 pounds when we brought him home. He is now more than 50 pounds.
Oh,
Wow.
That is
He's a good eater.
Do they chase balls too? Like the golf balls?
No, they're taught not to.
Oh.
They're also taught not to walk like across the green, so they only walk in high grass, which is fantastic. Because we have woods behind
smart.
our house, so they only go to the bathroom in the tall grass behind our house, so it makes it nice and easy.
My dog would do the opposite. She would just chase everything. Now we'll really
Now we'll
jump
get into it.
There we go. Can you share a little bit about your journey to becoming the principal of the big building? We call it the big building, the 1012. You had been at 9th grade, and you moved across the street this year.
Sure, absolutely. I don't know how far back you wanted to go. I've been with the Springford Area School District since July of 2022. I absolutely loved my time working with 9th grade teachers and students, but part of me was always a little bit sad that I got students for just 1 year, and we weren't really able to see the growth from the beginning of their high school journey all the way through to graduation. So when the opportunity presented itself to come across the street to be the principal of the 1012, I was really excited about that opportunity to continue to work with and support teachers, but also to see the growth and potential of our students really come to fruition as they're taking their diploma and walking across the stage.
Yeah, that'll be neat for you this year. What were some of the biggest surprises when moving across the street?
I don't know that there were a ton of surprises. I did spend a good portion of my days during the summer walking around with a yearbook and a building map. I'm trying to make sure that I understood exactly how the building was laid out, especially having not been in the big building as like all through construction when they were adding on different portions of the building. Some of it to me as an outsider didn't really make a whole lot of sense. For example, like how the second floor and the 1011 side doesn't connect to the senior wing.
Doesn't make
That
sense
was
to
a
many
confusing
people.
question.
Yes.
I always get confused by the room numbers. Like, where does the senior wing start? Because then you have like the health rooms and the art rooms, and then this side ends at like 165. But then by the gym, it's like 167, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And I don't
I
think
always
we
get
have any
confused with that.
130s or 140s either, which also confuses me.
Oh, fun fact. It's interesting
We'll
when
find them.
we'll make one up. When we're talking about capital planning now and the future of the district and changes, and we've been doing a lot of historic research, and not necessarily so much in this building because this building's not being touched with the capital plan, but in knowing our history of the building was built in 98, 99, and then immediately had an addition. We like that fast outgrew the space, and then have had 2 or 3 since then. How it continued to grow. Nobody thought about putting stairs or a hallway across, though.
Like a tramway.
I've been asked a couple of times about those moving sidewalks that you might have,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
in
the people
an airport.
mover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people movers. I think that would be a fantastic addition.
Then kids have no excuse of being late.
Exactly.
And the pool up on the 3rd floor is
Yeah,
what
that's
they
still
would
there.
Oh,
call
that is
Still
my
there.
that's my favorite feature.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't seen it yet?
The 3rd
anyway?
floor.
Oh, you did
Cool.
see it. That's right.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
good. So anyway, how do you approach getting to know a new school community, especially one as large as the high school?
I think it's about trying to make as big of a space as this is feel like it is a much smaller space, much more community oriented. I had the benefit of having the vast majority of the students come through the 9th grade center. So there were already a lot of students that I knew. So this year I started the year by trying to focus on really getting to know the staff, the teachers. I host monthly Coffee with Kelly. Where I will bring in baked goods and have coffee, tea, hot chocolate, and just have informal conversations with staff. Recently, our topic was communication, just looking to see how we can better improve communication from administration to teachers, but then also continue to improve communication with our students to make sure that they know what's going on so that they are able to stay involved and engaged beyond just the classroom, because we have so many incredible clubs, extracurriculars. Our athletic teams are fantastic. And so there are many opportunities to get involved.
And with the house system, you've met already some of the secretarial staff,
Yep.
the administrative assistants, and some of the principals, the house principals. Before you moved over here, they transferred through the 9th grade center.
I like that posters are coming back. The flyers hanging up in the wall. I missed that last year. Because we have so many ways of communicating with students. But there are times where I'm walking through the building and I'll see a flyer for, a club after school. I'm like, oh, I'll pop by that. That's tomorrow. I'll come over and see that. So sometimes the simplest ways are still tried and true.
Yeah.
Sometimes we focus a lot on technology and what is the quickest, most efficient way to communicate. But I really do like the old-fashioned paper and pencil or printed material. Trying to make it organized so that we don't have outdated images like posters or advertisements that are all over the building. So if we're able to just put it in a couple areas, a couple designated spaces, it's easier for our students to maintain, making sure they put up and take down the materials. But it also gives students a place to look, like, hey, I might be interested in this. When's the next club meeting date?
Yeah, I like that.
And I like that Mr. Jones uses the Padlet also.
Yes.
So if it's up on the wall, it's up on the Padlet as well.
Correct. And our lunch announcements all come from high school headlines or the Padlet. So there's just many ways that we try to communicate that information.
Andrew was out, and I was doing headlines for him the other week, and I didn't have access to like the file
Daily
I needed
announcement form.
to figure out what was coming up. So I went to the Padlet. I was like, oh, I know where I can figure out what to put into headlines because it's going to live on the Padlet because it lives on the wall, and it's all pulling from the same information. I was well trained as well.
I also appreciate the Friday afternoon emails from Andrew, just reminding me to make sure that I have updated my section. They're tremendously
A lot
helpful.
of people get them. Well,
Yeah, we can-
you and the FPC.
We can automate that in a
Sorry,
in a
Marissa
Google.
and Senya. What's that?
There's a way to do that in Google to automate that.
Automated notification.
Yep.
Maybe
I'll
I'll
teach
make
you-
you.
I'll teach you
Most
later.
weeks I'm on it.
I'll make you a task. Yeah, then we can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Jason would be so proud. So, Kelly, how would you describe your leadership style?
That's a really good question. I think that I am a very collaborative leader. I often talk about all of the things that I've accomplished in my personal life, my professional life. None of it has ever happened because I am one single person. It's always been because I've been a part of a team, because I think that the best way that we can continue to grow and move forward is by having a lot of different voices in the room, because we can disagree on specifics, but if we have the general idea about how it is that we want to move forward, I think different opinions, different perspectives just help make the end product just that much better.
And what would be your vision for the high school academically and culturally
Ooh.
for the future?
For the future, I really like I'm a big fan of the ideation process. So I really like to think about what education could potentially be. And I think that the biggest role for a high school in the United States is preparing students for what comes next. So obviously we have to prepare students academically for those students that are interested in going on to a 2 or a 4-year school. But I would like to see a lot more career readiness happen in the high school, opportunities for our students to go out on internships where they're working in the industry that they're potentially having an interest in. Because I think the most powerful thing that we can send our students out with once they graduate from high school is the knowledge of, is this career something that's really aligned with my skills and abilities, or is this not something that I'm interested in doing and spending thousands of dollars potentially in college just to find out that, ooh, no, I'm really not a people person, and that career is really too people-y for me.
Mm-hmm. Or spending the money going to college and realizing a trade would have been better.
Correct.
Or, any number of millions of options, so many options for kids today. We talk about that a lot, how much they have to select from.
Mm-hmm.
My brain has entirely stopped working. I know the number. I'm just thinking skipping 7 and skipping 6 and going to 7.
6, 7.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 6, 7. Okay, you can leave that part in. What strategies do you use to make every student feel seen and supported in a building of this size?
I think, honestly, it's really just listening and being present. Our house principals do a fantastic job of working very closely with students, but that doesn't mean that I'm not also working and communicating with students. I think that it's good to have to get feedback from all different voices. I like to attend a lot of sporting events, musical events, the marching band shows, and it's good to just see where students are excelling. Sometimes the best conversations I have with kids might be in the hallways between classes or in the cafeteria. You get a lot of honest feedback that way. Sometimes it's about cafeteria food or different offerings that we might have, or sometimes it's just like everyday frustrations. So I think that it's really just being present.
Are they big into the hoagies down in the caf?
They do like the hoagies. I think that the commercial or the video that you had done really helped boost sales.
I think
And
so.
the 2,500
2,500
pre-order
hoagies.
was sold just the other day.
Yeah.
That's some good quantitative feedback.
It really
Right?
is.
It's working.
How has your perspective on student leadership changed since going from the 9th grade where they're starting to grow into themselves to the building where they're really finding more of who they are?
I think that it's important to really see, and like I said before, I was very excited to come across the street to the 10-12 to really see that growth and maturity. In 9th grade, you're really just building that capacity and getting them used to what is it like to be a high school student, and making sure they're not just focused on academics, but they're also leaving room in their schedule to be able to participate in those clubs and extracurriculars. But I think that this year, what I've really seen, Mr. Jones has worked hard with his senior leadership section, and they work diligently to try to include the underclassmen. They've made some, I'm old, so I'm not sure of the social media platform. It might have been TikTok, videos of the cheers that they do for football games. So just finding those ways to make our younger students feel like they are more included and part of one high school, because we do like to think of ourselves as one high school. We're just on two sides of the street.
Yeah, you could feel that at pep rally this year. Like last year, the seniors didn't really know how to cheer. It was weird, and it made sense when you trace back where they were during COVID and the lack of number of pep rallies that they had. But this year, it was
much better.
It was like I needed the earplugs in again because they were loud, which it's supposed to be, and they were enthusiastic, and they got each other riled up, and you could feel the community was different now.
And we've set the tone now.
Yeah.
So being able to continue to carry that forward, I think, will just be that much easier. But it has to be intentional and purposeful. Our students just need some guidance and support on how to get there. And none of that happened in a vacuum. There were a lot of ongoing conversations between Mr. Jones and the students throughout the summer. I was looped in at the end of the summer, really just for some perspective. But they're really doing a fantastic job. And I think that all of the spirit that we had seen during that week and throughout this school year is really evident through the work that our seniors are doing. So the more that we as adults in the building can continue to build that capacity, I think that our enthusiasm and our volume will just continue to increase.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm so happy to have it loud again.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, and it was the first time I was down on the floor, 'cause typically I'm up in the booth, but I was running the DJ behind That was fun. My
It's different.
head
down
hurt
there.
a little bit leaving.
Yeah, it is different down there.
I had a lot of fun. In ninth grade, students, they're kind of just experiencing a pep rally for the first time. And my first year here, we were out in the stadium.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you're able to be together as a whole building. But because you're outside in the stadium, you don't get to feel like
You were a little dwarfed.
a little bit, because
Yeah.
you're not feeling like the vibration off of the walls just
Yeah.
from the volume and the excitement of the students. So being able to see how they progress from their very first pep rally to what it is here at the 10-12, it's just quite impressive.
So what's something you've learned from your staff or students since moving over to the big building in your high school's role?
Things that I've learned? It's a good question. I learned lots of things, lots of opinions on things. All of it's good. I think that there is a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for continuing to just grow and evolve as a school community. I get a lot of feedback, both positive and areas for growth. And I think that really just being open-minded is the thing that I've learned the most, because our teachers and our instructional staff and our support staff, they've been here for a long time. And I trust that because they've been doing what they've been doing for a long time, I trust that their opinion is coming from a good professional place.
Good. And how do you foster a positive school culture and maintain morale in a building of this size?
It's really about seeing people as individuals. Going back to the question that Erin had asked earlier about seeing students as individuals and hearing every voice, it's the same thing for people that work in this building. Recognizing that somebody may be having an off day, might just need some words of encouragement, I think goes a long way. Having an open door policy, sometimes something just as simple as saying, "Hey, good morning. Let me know if you need anything." Right. Those things tend to go a long way.
I heard also that you make a killer pumpkin bread, which has gone a long way as well.
I like to lure people into conversations and giving honest feedback through baked goods and coffee.
I was going to ask at the coffee thing, do you bring your sourdough?
I have not yet. The sourdough is a recent hobby. Okay. I thought I killed my sourdough starter last year, and after I threw it out, I realized you can't really kill it. So I had to buy a new one from Amazon. So this is a month-long passion.
Okay.
An avid month-long.
Avid month-long sourdough bread baker.
Oh, well, that makes sense. So speaking of sourdough, how do you balance the demands of running a high school with your personal life? We've talked a lot about work-life balance and having a job that's 24/7. You're here all day, and then you're staying for games and plays and musicals, and here on the weekends. And then also you have a sourdough to keep alive. Do you bring it in with you? You could.
I also have 2 middle school age sons.
You have youth as well.
So that I also need to feed and water, like I do my sourdough bread, my sourdough starter. It is tough. It is a demanding task. I became a high school administrator as an assistant principal when my children were 3 and 4 years old. So at that point, I lived in the district where I worked, and I brought my kids with me to a lot of different activities, musical events, athletic events, and they really grew up in a high school. So it was nice coming here and having a little bit of space to create some more work-life balance. Now that my kids are in 7th and 8th grade, they no longer are enthusiastic to always attend some of the work events that I do. Even when I try to lure them here to a football game with the Dallas Fry truck, they prefer to go and be spectators in their home district for football games. But it really is having to prioritize what I need to be here for and where I need to be for my own children and family. I think the one thing that really makes it possible is that I have a very supportive husband who will drop everything to make sure that he is handling some things on the home front. But also the team here at the 10, 12, and 9th grade as well is just fantastic at working together and communicating and making sure that we are sharing in some of those responsibilities for attending events, making sure that there is that administrator present. So it wouldn't work in either arena if I didn't have amazing people that were working with me.
You could bring the boys and they can watch the 3 Rothermel boys because they too show up at football games.
They just show up for Kona Ice.
I will tell you that raising boys, it is difficult to keep them alive.
Yes.
Just like sourdough bread.
I mean, I'm agreeing. I have none of the children. But I do get texts from Andrew's wife. Well, this one did this today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there was the one day that I was at an in-service here, and I get a text message from my neighbor about how the boys had been climbing a tree and had broken the branch, and it didn't break all the way, so they went into the garage and grabbed a saw and sawed off the rest of the branch, and then we're dragging it up the street to go dispose of in the woods. So very ingenious, but we did have to have the conversation about saws can only be used when there are adults supervising.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Did he carry the saw while the stick in one hand, saw in the other?
No, they left the saw in the garage of our friend's house, but it was another neighbor that had reached out to let us know, like, hey, is this normal? Do they have a tree trimming business? They do not.
Yeah. I FaceTimed with Andrew's middle yesterday. I said, "Oh, what'd you do today?" He goes, "I went to the doctor, took care of myself." Okay.
He got a metal pole in the back of the head at a park.
Oh.
He passed out a little bit, so he had to go sit in the hospital for 2 hours to get monitored, and blood covered up. So that's why I looked at her and started laughing, because literally yesterday this happened.
But you ask him, he's like, "Oh, I'm fine. Just went to the doctor, took care of everything."
Yeah, it's all
I'm
good.
okay.
Doctor fixed him right up.
Ran circles around the house. It's fine. What advice would you give somebody who's stepping into a leadership role as large as the high school for the first time? I think the transition for you here was like ideal, going from 9 to 10, 12.
For me, the transition was really ideal because I did work with some of the high school staff or the 10-12 staff already. I had been, or I still am, the liaison to the English department. So knowing and working with some of the teachers and knowing all of the students, or most of the students at that point, made it a pretty seamless transition for me. But I think that the biggest piece of advice that I would give to somebody that was transitioning into a leadership role is ask a lot of questions. Pretend that you know nothing, and then just continue to ask questions and know who your resources are.
I'm surprised you're the English department liaison and not world language.
You know, it's funny. In every district that I've worked in, so that's all of 2, I always am working with the English teachers. I don't think that English and world language are really all that dissimilar when you're talking about making sure that students have those essential reading skills, comprehension skills, and writing skills.
Would you like to join us in August at our ELD back to school night where we explain first day verification? Andrew and I often work, and we are the 2 worst people to be translating anything to anyone. So we might tap you next year.
You know, that is an event that is usually on my calendar. And then with all of the other things that are going on in the high school, unfortunately, in recent years, that is one that I have not been able to attend. But I will pencil you back in.
Okay. We'll give you the date. Veronica was there this past year, and she had a great time. So we have L teachers, but then also we had Spanish teachers come along, which was very helpful.
That is helpful.
Muy helpful.
Muy helpful.
Looking ahead, and we've already learned about changes that have been are in the works for next year in terms of like classes that are being added, the guitar class, the guitar building class.
Yep.
What are we calling it? The guitar STEM class?
STEM guitar building? STEM electric guitar?
This is really
Thought I
fun.
had it.
This is
Thought
really
I
fun
had
to
it.
watch you try to guess the name of this class. Actually, I can't recall off the top of my head because we just refer to it as the guitar building class.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, so the question was, what initiatives or changes are you excited about implementing for future years, excluding STEM guitar building?
Excluding that
What
one.
else you got in the works?
Other things that I'm looking at expanding or just kind of evolving would be the opportunities for that career readiness. I'm looking into, we do have a co-op program. I would like to see more students be able to participate in that and receive high school credit for some real world experience, whether that be in the trades as a carpenter or working with HVAC, or into some other careers that might require a 2 or a 4-year degree.
It's exciting. Good stuff on the horizon.
And also removing triplicates. We still use triplicates in the high school, and I would prefer to never use them again.
What?
It's like white and pink and yellow
it's
paper.
It's a duplicate, but
carbon.
with a third.
All right.
What do we use triplicates for still?
Discipline referrals. Yeah.
Not just the internet for that?
Not just that we don't use the internet for that.
Yeah, the 3-color paper.
It's like the white, yellow,
pink,
purple,
yellow. Yeah.
Pink. Yes.
Pink. That's a triplicate. See, I never got in trouble with disciplinary, so I never had to.
People are
Well,
very
you
passionate
wouldn't
about
have
their triplicates.
You would not have received one as a child.
Just the pink slip.
That would have been sent home to your parents.
Okay. Anyway. favorite part of the show. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and if you can answer them as quick as possible. So like the first thing that comes to mind. You said about coffee and conversations. How do you like your coffee?
Cream and sugar.
Okay. Like loaded with cream?
No, splash of cream and only sugar in the raw.
Okay.
Can I ask a question before you ask your remaining 4?
Now you get 6.
This is not a random question. How did you, with the triathlons, you and the whole family do it?
Yes.
How did you talk your children into doing them?
So we were on the beach with my husband's family and friends of ours, and all the adults thought it was like a great idea that we were all going to do this the first year. And my son, Ben, who was old enough, because at the time I believe he was 12, and you have to be 12 to compete. He was very excited and enthusiastic about it. So we completed it, and it was a great sense of accomplishment because I did 0 training for it, but I survived. But then my younger son, who was 11 at the time and had missed the cutoff, really wanted to do it. So we signed up again. And then we completed one. And we only saw one dead shark that had washed up on the beach during the run. So that was good.
Nice. Was it a sprint or a full?
It was a sprint.
Okay.
Yes. For no training, it needed to be a sprint.
Yeah. I did a sprint I don't run and didn't run and should have trained for the run. But I did train for the swim, which was good because when you're in the middle of the swim in the open water, you don't realize you can't just stop, which was the biggest shock to me.
Yes, there's no wall to hold on to.
There's no wall because when you train in the pool at the Y, you can, just do your 40 laps or whatever it's going to be. And then, stop and maybe hold on. And there's no stopping.
No.
There's no stopping in water. No crying in baseball, no stopping in water.
And we did the Escape the
you said
Capes
it was the
that
ocean?
involved jumping off of the back of the Cape May
I've seen that.
Ferry.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
And I am also very afraid of heights. So the scariest part for me was really just jumping off the boat.
And it was in the bay, so
And it was in the Bayside. And the run was on soft sand. So it was more like walking.
My swim was in the Schuylkill.
Ooh.
But look, I was told triathletes are the wealthiest athletes in the world, and they wouldn't swim in bad water. And I have held that thought with me. It tasted like pennies.
Didn't they swim in the Seine in France? And
I don't think they were allowed to. Wasn't it? It got to the point in the Olympics that they were
weren't
like
supposed to, and then I think
"This
they
might not
opened
be
it up
healthy."
for the race, and then a lot of people got sick.
Yeah.
Just stick to pools. I'm fine with that. Stick to pools.
Okay, continue on. Sorry.
Well, no, that was good. Now where was I? What's your favorite sport to watch?
My favorite sport to watch? Good question. I would have to say rugby.
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 Interesting. Is there like a place to watch it right now? Like when does rugby play? Is it like a typical football season? Or is it Australian only?
Rugby's not football.
Well, like the season. Like what's the season for?
So in
rugby?
full transparency, I watch the sports that my family puts on the TV, and we most frequently watch rugby.
Okay.
And there was just recently a big match that happened in Chicago.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun.
All right, so we won't go any deeper on that question. So what is a small, simple thing that never fails to make your day a little bit better?
A small, simple thing. Chocolate or coffee.
Coffee's always good. If you could design a brand new class on any subject you can imagine, not guitars, what would you call it, and what would your thought be for the first lesson?
I would want a STEM innovation lab that had the flexibility of being either a major or minor class, or you could take it as an honors option. And I would like it to be design. The first lesson would be a real world prompt, something like designing little houses that could be transported to disaster relief zones that would use some AI, maybe some virtual reality for students to be able to walk through the things that they've planned.
Did you see they 3D print houses now?
That's
But
impressive.
that's like such old news. They've been doing that for
Next
years.
question.
We might have a building available soon to host this STEM initiative.
There's a lot of things that could be done
Over
with
up
that
on
building.
the corner on Washington there.
Last question. What is something you're genuinely excited about or looking forward to in the next few months? Doesn't have to be professional. Doesn't have to be personal.
I really like the winter holidays. I very much enjoy decorating before Thanksgiving for Christmas, baking cookies and just generally the holiday spirit. So my family also spends some time between Christmas and New Year's at the beach, and it's great because
Nobody's there.
nobody else is there.
Best time.
And it's just the four of us, and my kids think that I'm interesting for probably 20 minutes a day.
So are you right after Halloween, you play Christmas music, or do you wait till Thanksgiving?
No, I use the day before Thanksgiving to start the actual decorating because you need to have a season.
Yeah, I don't mind the music. I don't decorate until after Thanksgiving.
Mariah Carey's getting
But I'll listen to
defrosted right
music.
now.
December 24th is when the music can start, and it can end on the 25th.
Okay.
I was in
'Tis the season.
I was in Old Navy this past week, and on Saturday they were playing Christmas music.
That's a little
already,
early.
and I
It's
left.
bad. And like Giant, I was looking for fall stickers for something, and everything's candy canes are up,
Oh, they've been up for
and I'm like, I just need fall stickers.
For what?
Well, my wife was doing a youth class at a gym, and she was going to give out stickers, but wasn't going to give out Christmas stickers on
Might as well.
the day after
Stickers
Halloween.
also make my day better. So coffee, chocolate, and stickers.
You writing this down, Brandon?
Mental note.
Good thing it's recorded.
Mental and recorded note. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm glad that we got to know you and your time here at the high school a little bit better. And we'll be happy to have you back at any point in the future.
Thank you so much.
We need to get Dave. I think Dave Sussex, the only,
Kohler
yeah,
and Dave.
Kohler and Dave.
Dave would come on.
Dave will come on.
You should have Dave and Kohler together.
Well, there has been a request for a Kohler individual episode to get the history of the school district from his point of view.
I will say that has probably been the most helpful
Yeah.
because he will tell us about things that happened way back in the 80s.
I think he was 88 grad.
I don't know. He hasn't been on. We'll add it to the list of questions.
Yeah. What years you graduate?
I did email him, and he has acknowledged that he's actively ignoring my email. So we might just show up in his office one day. But Dave will come on.
With some
We've had Seth, Jason, and Gavin on last year. We learned very quickly that Gavin's boring, and Seth can drive a train.
That's right. He does have his license.
Yeah. We don't think it's active anymore still.
I think he said it lapsed.
Brandon, it lapsed.
He don't know.
Brandon doesn't remember. I think it lapsed, though.
Yeah.
But we'll get the rest of the crew on. We'll get a full Roundhouse High School podcast soon.
Cool.
Really, you just need to come film a Monday morning meeting.
Then we would get everyone.
And
I
those
think
are entertaining.
later I think probably in December, we'll have Amy Oblock and Gina High on to talk about transition suite stuff and the STEP program. So, yeah, we've got some good high school things coming in. Jeremy Ionelli was on. It's a good season.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Just like on Bravo, when they end a season and they have to pick the mics back up because the drama happened. We're picking mics back up because Andrew and I both realized we didn't ask about chicken wrangling.
So when my husband and I were first married, we were living on the golf course where he had worked. Housing had come as part of it. And it sounds like it was a really exciting thing. No, it was like a 200-year-old farmhouse that had essentially been maintained as a frat house for gentlemen in their early 20s. But at one point, we did have chickens. My husband, Tim, built a chicken coop by himself, designed it, constructed it in the backyard, dug and built a fence, and we had upwards, I think the most we ever had at one time was 20 chickens. And they were true free-range chickens. We would open up the gate in the morning and allow them to have the opportunity to roam the backyard, which became slightly problematic when they would wander up to the shop and climb up into the golf carts and start laying their eggs there. So when we moved to a neighborhood, we decided it was probably the neighborly thing to do to not bring chickens with us.
Did you, when you would let them go out in the morning, did you have to like herd them back in, or did they just go in at night?
They naturally just go back to their coop as the sun is starting to set, which is helpful. We did have to put like a big mesh thing. My technical jargon is impressive, over the top because there were a lot of hawks that would come in and try to swoop in and take the chickens. We did there were several unfortunate chicken incidents in the several years we had them. So
Did you name the chickens?
We learned very early on that you should not ever name chickens. My children were little at the time. I think they were maybe 2 and 3, and they had a favorite chicken that they named Reddy. Reddy was a Rhodesian red chicken. Actually, he was a rooster, and he met his demise with a raccoon.
Oh.
And they were devastated about their favorite chicken. So after that, we didn't name any more chickens.
It couldn't be like a goldfish thing where it was just, oh, here's Reddy. Just a new red chicken?
No, they became very traumatized and were very angry at raccoons, and they would tell everybody that raccoons killed their favorite chicken. They were good at catching them, though.
Sounds like a kid's book in the making. Okay, well, thank you for picking cameras back up. We needed to learn more about the chickens.
Yes.
Was that
That's it.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks for listening, and make sure to rate and review this podcast. We have new episodes of the RAMcast every other Wednesday. The RAMcast is produced by the Office of Communications, Marketing, and Media, and special thanks to our audiovisual technician, Rich Privetti. Thanks, everyone.